Yo guys, how's it going? I'm coming with another tutorial, and this tutorial I'm trying to talk about one of the error which I get and one of the bug which I get in my Django application, and how did I fix it, because it was so interesting for me, so I'm trying to talk about that. So in this application I had a functionality called newsletter, and how I wanted to create this functionality works, it was like that. I was trying to make this functionality whenever user enter his email and try to subscribe, all of the emails get saved in database, and then in the admin panel of this website, it just going to be a page for newsletter management, and that page is just going to show all the emails which they subscribe already. And bottom of that, I wanted the form, so if admin was trying to send the advertisement email to all of them, he can just simply select each email and then send the advertisement email to all of the email which you already select by completing the title and description. So that was my idea. So the first step, so I said I write it down in my notebook. That's to be two step. The first step, so it has to be two apps, because I'm trying to make any small feature to each different app so I can just manage them easier after I develop it, so I can understand, okay, this app is for this purpose and this app is for that purpose. So that's why I tried to wrote it in my notebook, and I said, okay, there are gonna be two apps. We're gonna need two apps. One apps for just saving the subscriber emails in the database, and the second one to just try to manage all of those emails and try to show them in the admin panel, in the setup page of admin panel. And then bottom of that, there's going to be form to sending your advertising email to any of those emails. So the bug and the error which I get was in the first app. So the first app was simply that when user enter his username here and then try to subscribe, first what I did, I simply create the family model. I try to define that model. I try to create a variable called email and try to say, okay, the email needs to be unique. Definitely the email needs to be unique, so we're not going to have a duplicate values. I try to create a form to validate that model, and try to make sure the values is gonna go based on the model rules. So the model rule of this is this email field, so it has to be unique. So this form gonna check this model. If it was unique, so it's gonna make it true. So for validation of this model, I use form, and simply I created views, and simply, actually this one is for error handling, and it's for debugging. So we can just ignore all of this logger. But anyway, I create a view, define a subscribe view, try to get the request. If the request was post, try to use this form. If the form was valid and was based on the model, try to save the data in database and show the message of subscribe successfully, and return redirect, and try to redirect user to the home page. And else, just try to demonstrate and show the message error, and so on. So it was like that. So what error I get, I can show you right now. Actually, I didn't get any error. That was the problem. Because when you get error, it's like you have a roadmap. You can just go based on the roadmap, and you can go based on the error to find the solution. But when you don't have error, that's gonna be interesting and so challenging, because you're going to be like, oh, I don't know, I don't have any error, but it's not working anyway. So it's kind of weird. So when I'm going to open this page here, and when I'm going to enter my email and try to subscribe, for example, see, nothing is happening. It's not showing me message, it's not redirecting me to the home page, it's not doing anything. But what I did to first make sure if there is any problem in the migration or whatever, oh, I have to mention that when you create your model, you have to make sure to migrate everything. So try to migrate all the tables which you created by your model, make migration, and then try to migrate. When you migrate, you're going to create table and all the column of that table using your model. So you have to make sure you do that. So I was trying to make sure to see if there is a problem in migration. So I go to my SQLite, and I simply open up my let me show you. I simply open up my SQLite file which is related to this website database. When I open it, I see there is a table called newsletter subscriber. So I already understand, okay, so the model is working correctly. We already create the model correctly and the model is exists in the database, and I try to open it, browse the table. I see right now, I'm gonna delete all of them, but delete and delete. So I saw, okay, there is a field called email exactly based on the model, and everything is going right. So we already have the database, we already have the model, we already have the date table, a column of the date table, we have everything. And I go to views, I was like, uh, but I'm not getting any error. Like, what's going on? Like, because I said if the request was post and if it was valid, try to save the data in database and try to show this message and redirect it to home, which is just load the page. And else, because I'm using error handling here, try except, right? And else try to show the error message. But the weird thing was that when I was entering my email and I subscribe, it was not showing me any message, not error message, and not even the reloading and redirecting to homepage, nothing. So I understand that my view, the view of my uh, newsletter app is not even working, so it's not even running. So I try to search and search and search and search and search, read articles, search from ChatGPT, go to Stack Overflow, read the opinion of other people, other programmers, go to communities, like all of them. I was like, why? Like, how is it possible? Like, I don't really understand like why it's not working. So I got the answer. One person was telling me that sometimes JavaScript files can interrupt this process. So it's like this form is communicating with JavaScript file, but you define Django file, like you define your app, you define your view, which is Python, which is a Python view, which is for Django, which is for Python, and you have JavaScript as well. So this form is communicating with JavaScript, and it's not communicating with your view. So that's the problem. So I was like, okay, but how can I understand? Like, I go to my home page and I saw like there are tons of JavaScript files here. Like, I can see like a script source, lot of source here. I open up all of these source and read line by line, and I'm not going to understand nothing because I don't know JavaScript. Like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, okay, there are two options. I can just simply uh, deactivate the JavaScript in my browser like Firefox or Google. When I did that, it just worked, but I get some problem because most of these websites works with JavaScript, most of these elements and most of these works with JavaScript. So I had to find the problem. So right now I understand the problem is inside the JavaScript because I already tried to turn off all the JavaScript access and everything and try to disable them from the browser, so it works. But we are going to get other problem because in our JavaScript files we have menu, we have all these things, we want all of these works, right? Even BMI, even this calculation works with JavaScript, this one. So we had to find the file. So what I did, it was so funny, I tried to comment each JavaScript file uh, one by one. So I tried to comment each JavaScript file one by one. I did the first one, I did the second one, third one, and so on. I was commenting and running the page, commenting and running the page, and run the server, commenting, run the server. I comment all of these, and still it was not working. So I understand the code which is communicating with this form is not inside this form. But I comment the main JavaScript, the main.js file, and when I comment that, let me show you. So I'm gonna comment this. When I comment that, I control S, I save it, I go here, I enter. Definitely because these are working with JavaScript main file, so it's going to be looks like that. When I enter my email and I subscribe, it loads. So I was like, okay. it loads. That mean in the view, it already in this view it already redirect to home. That means the data save in database. So let's make sure. I go to my database, I try to open this table, I try to see the data again. Let me go here and here. I know I didn't save actually, but let me just close it, open it up, because it's supposed to get saved right now. I want to make sure. Desktop, personal trainer, this one. No, no. As you can see, actually, because when I delete all these, I didn't save it, so that's why it's showing me again. But anyway, I saw the email get saved, so after commenting out that JavaScript file, the email gets saved. So I understand the main JS here, the main JS, that's the whole problem. So what the other challenging thing was that I couldn't comment out that because there are a lot of features inside the main JS which I need them. So I had to find the problem. So I go to my form again, and I saw there is a class for this form called ex-subscribe-4. So I try to look for that class name in my main.js file here. And I enter here, this menu, this one. I enter, and I found, okay, there are only two line code. There are only two times two words, which are these. Which exists in these lines. So this class name exists only in this line. So you understand, okay, this line code is the problem. I don't know JavaScript. I don't know what it's doing. And doesn't matter. What I did, I comment them. So I go here. I said, okay, alright. So I was like, okay, I don't know what you're doing, but I know you are the problem. So I comment it. And when I control S, I enter email, it still is not working. So I was like, come on, you are the problem. What are you talking about? Because there is no other class name related to that form. This is the only code which related to that form. So you are the problem. But why it's not working anymore? I was like, oh, there is a cache problem definitely. Because when I click it anyway, I go here, it's not running. There is a cache problem. Like definitely 100% there is a cache problem here. So what I did, I was like, okay, let's try this in another browser, like private uh, incognito. Wait, I go, enter this email, random email, like this one. Subscribe. It loads. Though that was a cache problem. So we go to our database again. We try to load it, and we see the new email get added. So first, JavaScript was interrupting everything. Second, we find the line. Third, we comment on that line. And fourth, it was not working neither. And first, we understand, okay, it's not working. Actually, it's working, but because there's a cache problem in the Google, so I try to open it up in the incognito, because incognito is not going to save the cache and nothing, and even not session and no cookies, so it's gonna work. And it's work. And even you can open it in another browser which doesn't have the cache and doesn't have the session and doesn't have anything, it's gonna work. So we understand that only one JavaScript file can actually interrupt everything and can make everything to doesn't work. That's it. So whenever you get error, actually when you get error you have to be happier because you have roadmap. But when you didn't get error, you have to be a little bit definitely, you have to escape from that, because those moments are the moments which are going to get confused, because you have to unit test, you have to log, you have to use like debugging tools like logging, like unit testing, and this kind of thing. These are hardest. When you get error, it's just going to show you this is the problem, and you're gonna find the problem because you already have the roadmap. The error is like a roadmap. You have the roadmap, you're gonna find the problem, you're gonna solve it. But when you didn't get error and it's not working neither, so in that case, this is the worst situation because you have to know unit testing and logging, especially in Django. I hope you guys love this tutorial. See you later. Goodbye.